Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hopefully on this video we're going to have the whole of this whistle finished. We'll connect it up to some air and see if we can get a note out of it. Right, so our next thing I'm going to do is the actual dome. So let's find a bit of brass and start making that. Right, I've got that in the lathe. I'm going to face off this end, turn that down to a diameter of 541.5. So let's do that first, and I've got to make sure I've got enough in length for 833 Fowler. So let's get that going. Just have a measure of that. Check. Right, I'm looking for 541.5. Oh, 540. I reckon that'll do it then. Beautiful. Ha! Was I never. Right, the next thing I'm going to do. Right. While it's here, I'm going to, that radius there, I'm going to be parting that off later on, but I'll part off so far and then put that radius on. So I'm going to bore that hole for the thread. That's a 2BA thread. So I'm going to drill that now, deep enough so that I can probably tap it as well while it's still lined up nicely. That's what I'll do next. Just put a central drill there. Right, now change the drill. Right, that's that drilled. I've drilled long enough so when I do the boring there, I can then tap it before I part it off, so that'll all still be in line. Right, next thing I'm going to do, on the drawing look, on the outside there's a 60-degree chamfer on there, so that's what I'm going to do next. And then I'll be doing the boring out inside, which is 1/2 inch look. So I'll do the chamfer first. Right, I'm just going to do the chamfer on there. What I'm going to do is check that that chamfer is enough for the 1/2 inch bore now in there. So I'll just check that. There's 501 there. Let's just check that. Oh, that's fine. Right, now I'll do the 1/2 inch bore in there now. I'll just get the milling cutter I'm going to use. Right, so I've got the milling cutter on. Let's just start doing the bore. I've got a bit of tape on. I'm about 1.5 thou short of the depth, and then I'll use my digi to measure the depth, get down to the right depth. Right, we just check that for depth. Let's move that one leg away. Right, so what do I want? 785. Right, so that's 10, 18, 5 more to go. Check that. Well, that's fine. I'm 4 or 5 deeper, but that's all right. Right, now I can tap the 2BA thread in there. Right, just put the next tap down. Right, I'll just put the number 3 tap through there. Yeah, I don't need to really. Lovely. Right, so that's the 2BA part done. Right, I'll just try that on in there. Come on now. There we are. That screws on all right there, doesn't it? Right, the next thing, I've got to start parting it off. I've got a grind tool, I think, which I can then just do a little bit of radius on that back end. So I'll just sort that out. Right, I'm just going to start parting off, and I'll move my parting tool over a little bit to widen that, because the grind up bit I've got for a little radius is a bit wide. changed a bit. Right, so I got the bit changed. I'm just going to put a little radius on that corner. Might even part the thing off as it's going. Here we go. So there we are, nice little radius on there. I'll just clean that thread up. Right, so that's the two parts there. That bit of screw on there. Lovely. Next, we got a nut to make for the top. So let's do that now. Right, I've got a bit of 1/4 inch round in the chuck. I'm going to make that nut. So what I'm going to do is face off the end, drill the hole and tap it, and then what I'll do is I'll part that off, and then I'll get a piece of 2B8 thread, put it in the chuck on the thread, and give the end a little bit of a shape. So let's get that going. Right, so now I'll just drill that and tap that 2B8. I used to milling cutter so I get a flat bottomed hole there. Now I'll tap that 2BA. What I'll do is I'll just grind the point of that down so it'll go in the hole a bit deeper. That's it. Where have we got that down there? That's it. Right, beautiful. Let's just get the whistle in it. Right, so just screw that in there. Lovely. There we are. Right, what I'll do is I'll cut that off of there. I think I've got a stud, a 2BA stud. I'll screw that in there, put it in the chuck and give the end a bit of a shape. Just find 2BA stud for that. Right, so I've got that little nut stuck on there. I've got this little shape here which I'm just going to put a little shape on the top end. Then I'll see if I've got another cutter, if I can get in there and put a little shape in the middle. I'll just get this set up. Right, let's try and put a little curve on the top corner of that. emery block on there. Beautiful. I don't know if I've got a little concave cutter that'll get in there. If not, I don't think that matters. Nice little round top on there. I'll just have a look. Right, I've ground a little curve on there just to try and get in there and scrape a little concave shape in the side. I'll just get that bolted into the lathe. See if that'll work. I think that's a little bit too risky for me. I think I'll just leave that as it is. Well, I've moved that out a little bit. I'm just going to try. If I get a little file now, I can clean that up. Just gives it a little shape there. Well, there we are, one shaped nut. Let's get that off of there. And screw that on there. Right, there we are. So we've got the whistle base, the shaft, the dome and the top nut. I think the next bit, while I'm still playing around with 1/4 inch brass, I'll make the screw cap that goes in there before I make the valve. So let's start that. That's the nut we're going to make, or a little bolt actually screws in to the side. So the overall length is 208 thou. It's got a 1/4 inch thread on the outside and a 532 hole recess in there for the spring. So I think I'll put the thread on first. Make sure that screws in there. Oh, look at that, lovely. Right. Now to drill the hole. Got the centre drill there. Right, just change the drill. Right, I think what I'll do is I'll put a 4mm milling cutter in there to cut a flat bottom in that hole. And there we are. I've just flattened the bottom of the hole out with a milling cutter. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put this into a collet on the milling machine. Machine these two little flats on the end there. And then, of course, I'll put it back in the lathe and part it off to the right length. Right, so from 0, I've got to take 21 thou off each side. Right, that's that side. Just turn that over. Right, that's it. Put it back in the lathe now and part that off. Right, I'm just going to part that off. Right, there we are, that'll screw in there. I have filed it up. Right, so there we are. So next thing now to make will be the valve. Right, I've got some brass, exactly the right diameter for that outside, that flange where the O-ring goes on. So what I got to do now is turn down this part here first. So let's do that. Try that. Oh, that's a nice sliding fit, that is. Lovely. Right, what we've got to do now is a small groove there, and then I'll put it in the collet in the milling machine, because there should be 3 flats there, look. So let's do that. Right, I got this set up to do that little groove. There. It's hardly anything. It's 20 Fowler. Hardly anything. I now get this in a collet and put those 3 flats in there. Right, I got this set up just to do the 3 little flats, so I'll just do that. I'll just turn that round to the next one. Right, this is the second one. Right, I'll just turn it around for the third one. Right, this is the third flat. Lovely. Now I can put that back in the lathe and finish turning that up. Right, I've got the part set up in the lathe there. I'm going to use the parting tool just to turn that down to 1/8 of an inch diameter first, and then move along and then part it off. Touching that, I'll set that up to 0. Just have a measure of that. So we're looking for 125, aren't we? A little bit more. One, 2, 4, that's plenty. Right, now I'll just part that bit off. What we got to do is adjust the... I'm just parting the part off. Right, so there's this little bit done. He sits in there. There'd be an O-ring just underneath that shoulder there, and he goes in there. So when you've got the lever, you'll push that in and let the steam go through there and whistle through there. And that little cap, there's got to be a spring in there in a minute. That little cap will screw in there, look. There we are. It's nearly ready. All we got to do now is make the arm. Right, next piece we're going to make for the whistle is the arm. The arm goes in there. So when you pull the arm, it pushes that valve in. So I'll put that out the way. Right, I've got a little bit of brass there. So the width we got is 1/8. So I'll just mark that out. Right, so I've got my compasses set at 1/8. And I'll just scribe all the way down through there. That is the width of our arm. So we got a 3/64 hole there. What I'll do is I'll mark the center now through there. Whoops. There we are. Whoops. So I'll mark that hole there. That's that top hole there. Then from the center of that one to the center of the pivot hole is 1 inch. Right, so from the center of that first hole to the pivot point is 1 inch. Right, so that's the pivot hole there. Right, so then from the center to the tip is 583 thou. But from, well, they don't really give you, oh, there we are. That measurement there, the difference between 1/8, which is 125 thou, and that is 42 thou. So from there we're going to mill that down 42 thou off of the side of that to create that step. So I'll just mark, I won't mark that, but what I'll do is I'll mark the overall length. Right, I've just worked out 1 inch plus 583 thou plus 62 thou for half of the eighth from there to there is 1645. So from the overall length to that bottom tip, I'm going to put my vernier there and just scribe there. That's the overall length. So I think from about there to there, we'll be machining that side out 42 thou smaller. Right, so I just center punch these holes. Right, lovely. Now I'll get that set up in the milling machine. Right, I've got that all centered up with a center drill for the first hole. So I should be able to drill that and then move this forward using a digital readout 1 inch and do the next hole. Let's get that going. Right, so it's 1 inch now. Right, that's 1 inch. Perfect, look at that. Right. Now I'll just put the next drill in. Beautiful. Run that back. Beautiful. Right, the next thing, I'll get a milling cutter set up to take 40 thou off of that side up this end. Right, so I've got this cutter zeroed against the side there. I have to machine that way 42 thou. Right, that's the last cut there. Beautiful. Right, that's that. Now I've got to cut that out. I think I'll cut that on the fret saw. Right, there's that part cut out. I'm going to just file that up. Put a little radius on that corner and a little radius on these two corners. Lovely. Right, we're going to put the whistle all together. I'm dying to put some air through it. That's the blades that I've used on my scroll saw, fret saw, whatever you like to call it. They're good blades. Right, let's put the whistle together. So we got the body. In the body, we've got the shaft, stem. That's going in there. I'll just tighten that up with a little bit of pliers. Beautiful. Now I'll put the dome on. With the dome nut. I'm in a minute now. Shall we push some air through the bottom if I block the hole up? That should whistle. Hey! Right, let's finish putting that together. Right, so we got the valve, and on the valve we got a little O-ring there, which goes in there. So that valve comes out there, look. And then here is the back cap, which I got a little spring which fits in there. Which should hold that valve shut. Yeah, he springs out. Now, the arm, I just got to get a little. I think I'll use a small rivet, I think, to go through there. I'll just find one. Right, at the minute all I got is a small rivet. Just put that in there. There we are. Right, so that should pull. Wants a little bit of filing out, so I got a bit more movement there, look. I'll just do that. Right, I just filed a little bit out. Give it a bit more movement, that's lovely. Right, what I'm going to try and do now, I'm going to mount that on a piece of plate. Try and get some compressed air through there to make it whistle. But other than that, that's lovely. Let's try and get that mounted with some compressed air through it. Right, I've got some air connected up to it. Shall we have a go? Here we are, everyone. Look at that. Chopped as nuts, I am. I'm very happy with how this went. Especially after breaking the stub off under the bottom there. It's quite a lot of work in such a small fiddly thing. I'm really happy with it. And it works. So please subscribe to my channel and join me as I build a 2-inch scale Fowler Showman's traction engine. See you later, lads.